mean, it was very hard to be exposed to the Reagan personality and to hate Reagan personally. I mean, even people like Tip O'Neill and others who were his political opponents could be charmed by Ronald Reagan. He was a very charismatic individual, and he knew how to talk to people. And he didn't call his opponents names. He referred to Democrats as our friends. He didn't call them vermin or the enemy of the state or whatever. And even with the press, for example, he had sort of an adversarial relationship, and they would ask him questions that he would ignore, and they would become frustrated. But then he would wisecrack with them. And actually, I talked to reporters who covered him who said, Reagan, it was very hard to dislike him. He was just such a nice guy. You couldn't really hold a grudge against him. So that's, I think, and his public persona kind of communicated that and made him very acceptable, even when he was advocating kind of hardline Republican positions. He did it with kind of a wink and a smile and a quip and an anecdote in a way that was not very threatening. And so that's why he was much more successful than like Barry Goldwater, for example, who was a much harder edged Republican. So that was part of his, nonpartisan appeal. The other part of it, of course, is what we were just discussing, the fact that he could cut compromises and engage in bipartisan wheeling and dealing.